Hi. Okay, so I am going to have a voice, whether I have a voice or not. So I hope that's okay with y'all. Y'all be extra good listeners today, okay? While I'm struggling to have a voice to talk to you. Hi, Carlin. Hi, Sade. And thank y'all for joining and thanks for the hearts. I have 4 things today that I want you to remember, okay? It's very important because there's balance in these things. These are biblical truths. And I'm not going to exactly give you every verse right now, but I promise you this is biblically sound and biblically correct. I'm glad you approved. Thanks, Sade. I know I need my voice, but I'm going to talk whether I have a voice or not. So I trust y'all to be good listeners today. But yes, this is important because, okay, I'm going to block you, but thanks. You're cracking me up, girl. God is so good, and He gives us truth in the Bible. And for those of you who don't know me, or some of you watching on the replay, my name is Trina Titus Lozano, and I'm a counselor, an ordained Christian minister. So I'm constantly looking for wisdom and truth from the Bible. Now, these are 4 things that are so important for you to remember. Give, love, trust, and listen. Give, but don't allow yourself to be used. Okay? So give and give generously. Give generously. But don't allow yourself to be used. There's people who will take advantage of that. There's people who will let you give so much and they're not grateful and they don't ever take their own responsibility and there's no reciprocation. At that point, you might want to invest elsewhere. So at the point that you are being used and then it's not reciprocated or it's not met with tremendous amount of gratitude, just keep that in check. You want to give and give generously and never give to get. But don't allow yourself to be used, okay? Don't allow yourself to be used. There was a really precious mom that called me the other day for advice, and they've given their child everything. 18 years old, literally everything. And at this point, really, they're being used because the child's not working. The child's not even grateful. They're just entitled. So they're only receiving. So at that point, instead of all of this generosity being helpful, it's actually hurting their child. At this point, they're over giving to this child at this time in their life. So be careful that you don't cross that line. So give, but don't allow yourself to be used, okay? Love, but don't allow abuse. So don't ever allow your heart to be abused. I'm speaking tonight at oh good, I'm glad you like that, Amy. I'm speaking tonight at actually I'm joining a friend of mine and a former client that is speaking out tonight as being a real advocate for domestic violence victims. And it is important that we stand up and that we are a voice. Excuse me if I have no voice, that we are a voice, that we do not allow. Oh, that's too bad. That's so sad. I hate stories like that. But that we do not allow ourselves to be abused. As a child, there's times that people are victims. And as a child, you're very, very, very helpless. But as an adult, there's a time where you can stand up and you can have a good support system to say, you know what? I'm being abused and it's not okay. I'm worth more than this. So I won't keep my mouth shut anymore. I won't continue to protect the abuser. I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to be brave and I'm going to speak out that I'm being abused in this relationship. So y'all love and love freely, love wholeheartedly and generously, but don't allow yourself to be abused, okay? You're worth more than that, all right? Trust, but don't be unwise or naive. It's important to trust, y'all. You cannot be in relationship with people without trust. Trust is core. Trust is a key ingredient to relationship. Being able to forgive people when they make a mistake and they are truly repentant and apologetic. If we have a relationship with them and we're filtering everything through suspicion that they're going to do that again. Well, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to earn our trust back again, because we can't trust what you say anymore, because you say one thing and you do the other thing, and we can never trust you again. Don't be naive and don't be unwise. just look at a person's heart. Look at a person's fruit of their life. If they really are truly repentant and they come to you like with an apology, like we talked about yesterday, with a sincere apology, you need to forgive them and really act as though it never happened. Don't continue to be suspicious of people. Don't continue to be rude and not willing to offer grace to somebody when they make a mistake. Don't be like that. Be someone who gives trust. Trust is a gift, and it really is an extension of love. If you expect people to always earn trust, you will never be in close relationship with anybody, because no one will ever be perfect enough to earn your trust. And you know what? You're not perfect enough for other people to earn for you to earn it either. It really is it's a gift, and it's an extension of love. Love that believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Trust is an extension of agape love. I know this is countercultural. I know this is counterintuitive. But what God says is do not trust in man. So God agrees you can't trust man. You can't trust humanity. There's nobody that is human that you can trust and that can prove that they are trustworthy, because we all fail. We all sin. We all fall short. However, we can trust God. We can trust God. Oh, thank you. Don't you ever go back to an abusive person. No, don't you ever go back to an abusive person. But you trust God. God will be their judge, and God will protect you. So often people in an abusive relationship they're afraid to leave and they go back. You're so right. But you know what? Ultimately, it's because they're not trusting God that they'll find someone else to love them. But they're not trusting God that they'll be safe if they walk away from that abuser. So often, people who are abused are afraid that their abuser will kill them. So they do go back. And so we've got to trust God. We've got to trust God to an extent that you are fully willing to trust God with your life, with your love life, with your safety. So you trust God absolutely, completely. So don't be unwise. Don't be naive. Don't go back to your abusers. Don't trust people that aren't repentant. But when someone wants a relationship with you and they're truly repentant, you want to trust God with that relationship. Does that make sense? Trust God with that relationship. So it's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay. It's okay to trust God with that relationship. If your heart gets broken, you know what? God will help you. He'll get you through it. You know, if you're afraid to trust somebody because like my husband. I mean, he was unfaithful to me. So me allowing him to come back into my life, God is, he can be trusted with your broken heart. For me to allow my husband to come back into my life, to come back into my home, to come back into my bed, I had to trust him even before he earned it back. The truth is, he'd never really be able to earn that back. Really, when someone is unfaithful to you and they lie about it consistently for almost a year, there's no way I could ever trust them again. Not in the natural, but in the supernatural ability to trust God above my fear of another broken heart, to trust God above my fear to trust my husband again, to trust God above my fear. So you can have faith and you can have trust that goes beyond your fear. Whenever someone has hurt you before, you know, there's a chance they might hurt you again. And so you can trust God above that. You can trust God above that. But you always want to use wisdom, okay? So if someone's not repentant, meaning that they've taken full responsibility, they've shown remorse and regret, and they're doing their part to really repair the relationship, you know, then you want to use wisdom and not go back to an abuser, okay? Don't go back to that abuser. So use wisdom there. You know, if there's a situation, you don't want to put yourself or your children in harm's way. You want to use wisdom. But also, you want to be able to forgive people. You want to be able to love people. You want to be able to trust God with all of these things, okay? Now, the last one is listen. Listen. Listen to others, but don't lose your voice. That's kind of funny, right? Listen to others, but don't lose your voice. No pun intended, right? Y'all, listen to others, Be a good listener, but don't be afraid to speak out. Your voice is important. What you have to say is relevant. You are wise. You are smart. You have input. You have a perspective that other people don't have. So I really want you to listen to others. Be a good listener, but absolutely don't lose your voice. Speak out. Speak out and stand up for what is right, especially stand up for righteousness. Lisa Bevere had a really great message at Gateway Church this last Sunday. And you know, she was so right on, speaking from Romans, just saying, look, we need to have grit. We need to stand up. We need to have a voice. Whether we have a voice or not, we need to have a voice. And I know that you guys all have a voice too. Whether you do or not, we still do, right? In Jesus' name, thank you, Lord, for your healing. And Susan, thanks for all of your great advice. You've got a voice. You have you have wisdom. And I'm so glad that you're using your voice to roar, right, in a good way. And I have put every single thing you told me to good use. So I just want to let you know that I've taken all of that advice, and I really appreciate it. So God bless you guys, and thanks for the hearts, and thanks for listening today. I love you all. Those words were important. Give, but don't allow yourself to be used. Love, but don't allow abuse. Trust, but don't be unwise. Listen to others, but don't lose your voice. And if you do, speak out anyway. God bless you guys. Mic drop. Have a great day.